Here are 5 takeaways we've learned from talking to professional hockey players. Welcome back to another AHA video. Today, we went in depth with 5 different professional hockey players to learn from them and see what are the main takeaways they learned when they went from juniors to pro, things they needed to adapt and things they needed to manage to succeed at the pro level. Just to clarify, we spoke with players who play in Europe, play in the East Coast, play in the American League, just so that we can get a better understanding of those that are working their way up the ranks. So the first one, and this is the biggest one that all 5 of them spoke about, is don't look at the clock. When you get on the ice for practice, you're on the ice with a mission, with a goal in mind, with something to improve. Now, I'm not talking about the morning skates the day of a game where, you run through a few flow drills to get the legs going, take a couple shots, and you get off the ice. I'm talking about actual team practice. I'm talking about summer training. Don't look at the clock. You get on, coach says 10 reps, do 11, do 12. There's always something you could be working on. You finish all the drills the team set up, well, you know what else you have to work on. You know that last game you got beat wide because, you missed your footwork. Go work on your footwork. You know that you're shooting from the blue line, you're shooting through screens, you keep missing the net, or you keep shooting high. Work on it. You're missing that breakout pass. You're missing your rims. You're losing face-offs. You're not shooting in stride. As a goalie, you're giving bad rebounds. You're not stopping the puck and reading the play properly. There's always something you can work on. And they're not saying, based on the conversations, they weren't saying to work an extra hour every day, because that's a lot, especially with all the travel and all the ice time you get. An extra 10-15 minutes helped in the next game. They got their details down, because at the pro level, the details are everything. Number 2, the work outside the rink is just as important as the work on the ice. Now, what does that mean? In the gym, guys aren't coming into workouts exhausted, sore, not ready to work. They're coming in, all right, I got a workout. It's a big one. I got to hit my weights today. I got to hit all my reps. Each part of the summer is a different style of training, whether it's plyo, whether it's explosion, whether it's resistance training or other types of training. They're coming in, they know what they need to do. They know the goals they need to hit and obtain, and they're pushing towards it every single second. They're doing everything they need to do to hit that, right? They're not, I'm sore today. I can't hit the 315. They're hitting the 315. I can't do 8. I can only do 6. They're hitting 8. They are pushing themselves every single second. Before a workout, they're coming in 10-15 minutes forth to properly warm up their body, activate, stretch, foam roll. If they take supplements, they're taking their supplements at the right time to make sure their body's feeling good. Post-workout, stretching, foam rolling. At the pro level, they invest a lot of money into their body. They're going to PT throughout the season if they're not hurt, just to make sure that they're feeling loose, nothing's tense or sore. Some of them are doing chiropractors. Some of them are getting weekly massages, just deep tissue massages. They're painful, but it helps make sure nothing gets tense, nothing causes an injury. Nutrition, the biggest thing was nutrition. They all harped on the fact of how important it was for them to eat properly, consistently throughout the year and in the summer. In the summer, they ate a little different, whether they had to put on size or lose weight. But in season, they ate consistent, make sure they had the right amount of protein, right amount of carbs, right amount of veggies to make sure that they were feeling well. It was important for them that when they wake up in the morning, the body feels good. You don't feel crappy for what you ate last night. On the goalie side, a couple of goalies we spoke to made an importance that every single day they read. They read a book on mindset, on mental development, whether it was a biography from a past athlete, whether it was a sports psychologist, a mental training coach, whatever it may be, something to help strengthen their mind, because at the pro level, that is a very large part of their consistency, their gameplay, and if they're going to be good enough to stick and work their way up. Some of the best are the strongest people between their 2 ears. So they work on it on a daily basis. They do hand-eye coordination at home, so make sure their hands are always going. They're doing brain training with, for example, Neurotracker to help strengthen their mind, their hockey IQ, and speed up their decision making. They're doing all the extra little things that they might not have done in junior hockey, but that's how you get the edge in pro, and that's how you keep your edge and work your way up. The third one, they have a schedule, a routine, and sticking to it helps them. On game day, I wake up at this time. I have morning skate at this time. I come home, I eat at this time. I nap until this time. I get dressed. I head to the rink. I'm always 2 hours, 3 hours before, 4 hours, whatever it may be. In the off season, they'd wake up, they'd train, they'd skate, they'd go home, do a bit more of a routine so that by 2 o'clock they were done. Then they could hang out after from 2 to 6, 2 to 7, have dinner, hang out with their wives, their kids, their friends, whatever it may be. But they knew they had to be in bed by whatever time they decided, because the next morning they had to do it all over again. And they had a routine. And I'm not saying this is 365. People take weeks off, right? You finish the season, you take 3, 4, 5 weeks off. It's different. You're relaxing. But in season, to make sure they're staying consistent, when they're in the heavy part of their off-season training, they had their daily routine. It almost felt robotic, so that they made sure they stayed on track. They were hitting all their targets, hitting all their goals. So when it comes time to play, everything is up to speed, up to par. Their details are on point. They're feeling good, and they're ready to go. Number 4, trusting the coach. Now this one was a big one because they mentioned how the coaches at the pro level are teaching you the systems that are required to succeed at that level, because it's different from junior and college. Different speed, different size, different style of play. Even different parts of the season is a different style of play. But also they're teaching you the systems that are required at the next level. So if you can master it at this level, they'll give you a chance at the next one, right? And it could be as simple as the way you pick up the puck off the boards on a rim. As simple as that initial breakout pass. When you're skating down the boards, where to look at the goalie to see if there's a shot, a rebound, a pass, whatever it may be. Little super finite details that when they add up throughout a game is the difference between a successful game and a win, or a rough game and a loss. These coaches are going through hours and hours of video from you, the other team, and the higher up team, whether that's the American League or the NHL, to study these plays and bring it back on the ice. They are prepping you for the next level. Their success, yes, is on the board, winning hockey games, winning championships, but also the amount of players they can get work their way up. Right? As a coach in the farm leagues, when there's the American League or the East Coast, your job is to develop a hockey player to move up to the NHL. You are the farm system to the NHL. They are telling you this player needs to work on X, Y, and Z. We want him up in a year or 2 years. All right, let's get that going. Let's get that fixed. So the trust with your coach needs to be there. You need to listen to them. They're there to guide you and help you and mentor you and make sure you avoid these mistakes. And number 5, the biggest takeaway was the fact that they might have been great junior hockey players or college players, and when they got to pros, the speed went up a notch. The attention to detail went up a notch. The consistency went up a notch. There are far fewer mistakes at the pro level. They're still making mistakes, but it's not the same as in juniors. You're not going to catch a guy with his head down as often. You're not going to catch a guy leaving somebody wide open. You're not going to catch a guy missing details, missing assignments. They're much more educated, much more detail-oriented. Everybody at that level is now getting paid its job. If they don't perform, they don't keep their job, they get sent home. So there's a lot more on the line. This is a career for them. Some of them have families to take care of. Every little shift, every little detail matters. And I keep harping on the details because that's what they were talking about. It is super important for them to perform daily, weekly, monthly, and all season long. So that is the big difference. The dedication to the craft goes up another level, 2 levels, even 3 levels. You just got there. You don't want to lose your spot. You want to keep going up. Hopefully this information helped you for those that are on the verge of going to that next level and playing pro hockey, or it's in a couple years and you're preparing for it. These are the 5 takeaways that many players have brought up to us and discussed about to make sure they did well in pro and it worked for their careers. If you're interested in this video, you might like this one or this one. And as always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.